So I just want to share this story with you guys. Last night I said I was going to make, a waffle brunch so everyone was fed and not grumpy, etc. So this morning I get up super early and I make pancakes from scratch at Amanda's house. And I'm trying to be quiet. She's still asleep. I'm digging through her cabinets. I knocked over a ton of Jell-O shots. I was pretty loud, but she didn't wake up. Her dogs did. I'm trying to sneak around. So I'm making them from scratch and I can't find flour. She's got none in her flour canister, and I'm just oh God, am I gonna have to go over to the neighbor's house whose house is for sale, and I don't even know if they live there. And then there's a crazy man that lives across the street from them. I was am I even safe to go ask her neighbors for a cup of flour or 2 cups of flour? So anyways, long story short, I finally find some flour in one of her cabinets, and it's whole wheat flour. And I'm oh, okay, whatever. We'll have whole wheat pancakes, or waffles. I make the waffles, and the first one comes out, and it doesn't look quite right. It's not nearly as fluffy as my waffles normally are, and it just kind of had a weird looking texture. So I try a bite, and I'm well, I've definitely done better. This is kind of disappointing. All the girls were meeting at Amanda's house, and I was I'm making breakfast, woo, Turns out, Amanda's flour that was whole wheat, which is not how I make my waffles, expired in 2012. Yes, 2012. So 6 years ago, her flour expired, which means it was probably purchased, I don't know, in 2011. My waffles were not good, you guys. So I think Amanda had a Pop-Tart, I had a fortune cookie, and Christy had Subway. So there was no brunch, and now everyone thinks that I don't know how to make good waffles. Stupid flour, and I'm pretty sure the recipe calls for a lot of baking powder. Pretty sure Amanda's baking powder is also expired. I need to go check that when next time I'm at her house, because she does not bake. I was even really surprised that she had baking powder. But expired whole wheat flour, expired baking soda, they just don't mix. They do not make good waffles. So tomorrow, everyone's on their own for breakfast. I just can't. We're meeting at Amanda's again, and who knows what I'll find in her cabinets if I go rummaging through them. Maybe before I leave, I'll buy her a bag of flour, wrap it up in a cute little bow, because girl, it expired 6 years ago. Okay, so I forgot to tell you guys the other part of that story. The previous time before today, the whole waffle incident, the last time I had pancakes at Amanda's house was probably maybe 5 years ago or so. I was at Amanda's house. I don't think anyone was there. I know she definitely wasn't, and I was probably waiting on her or something. And I was I want pancakes. So I rummaged through her pantry, and she's got pancake mix. So I whip up some pancakes, and I have one, and I'm man, this doesn't taste good. I'm a pretty healthy eater, and I don't really eat boxed food and that type of stuff. So I was maybe, I don't know, maybe I just don't know what boxed pancakes taste like. And I really don't eat pancakes that often in general. So Amanda comes home a little bit later, and I was oh, I made some pancakes. Do you want some? And I didn't tell her that they weren't very good. And she was what did you use to make pancakes? And I said, oh, I found pancake mix in your cabinet. And she looks at me and she goes, oh, that pancake mix is at least 10 years old. Girl. So If I use box mix, it's old. If I make it from scratch, it's old. Honey, Amanda, bestie, get your act together. Note to self, my personal note to self, do not eat pancakes or waffles at Amanda's house ever again unless I bring the ingredients there myself. Okay? And also tonight, I feel inspired. She's actually not home right now. I feel inspired to go through that girl's cabinet and purge. You hear me? Who has flour? First off, it should have been, part of it's my fault because I was like, why does Amanda have whole wheat flour? She is not the healthiest eater. I'm like, why does she have whole wheat flour? That was like a red flag. But I think by that time it was 7 in the morning. I was tired. I just wanted to get waffles going so we could get on the road at 8, which did not happen. And I don't even know why. I was just like, oh, whatever. Maybe Amanda likes whole wheat flour now. So part of it, I admit, was my fault. The whole wheat flour was definitely a red flag. But seriously, who has flour in their pantry that expired 6 years ago? And let me tell you something. Between this year and 6 years ago, she's moved at least twice. Okay? So she has had at least 2 times to clean up the pantry and be like, oh, this flour expired 6 years ago. Amanda, I'm calling you out on this one. I love you to death, but we need to clean out your cupboards. Okay, my rant is over. Moral of the story, don't eat pancakes or waffles at Amanda's house.